This is weird. Speaking to an empty auditorium. It's weird to think that March 17th was the last time that I saw you. It's weird to think that most people's first reaction of this impending quarantine was to go out and cram as much bottled water and toilet paper they could into their carts. Do you remember those days in class when we'd have those rumors floating around? Like that day we came to school and all the windows were broken in the admin building, or the power would flutter and go out for a couple seconds, or we'd have an unusual number of fights between classes that day, and then you guys would start talking. Oh, I heard if the power goes out, then they have to send us home. He goes, oh, if we have more than 3 fights, I heard that they have to send us home. I said, wouldn't it have been weird if somebody would have said, I heard if there's a highly contagious microscopic organism that escapes from China, they have to send us home for the rest of the year. Wow, that's a tough crowd here. So during all this weirdness, I'd like to give you two pieces of advice here. Number one, don't choose to be a victim. I know you have friends or people you know that whine about everything. Anything that happens, they can always find a reason how it's affecting them. And then you also have those friends that make the best out of every situation. You'll have to face many things in life. Many curveballs will be thrown your way, and a lot of it depends on how you react. If your first instinct is to feel sorry for yourself, then you're going to struggle. Or is it that you learn from it, from every situation, and grow stronger? Are you the shovel or are you the dirt? Everything happens to the dirt, but the shovel makes things happen. With that said, nobody's ever had to go through what you're going through right now. This is a big deal. You're grieving for something that was taken away. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to grieve in your own way. But let me also say that as one of your teachers, I know you can get through this. I am sad and grieving right along with you. The best part of teaching was taken away from me. The last couple months where I get to see you finish up everything and walk across that stage at graduation. It's been hard for all of us, but you will get through this. Your creativity and determination are far greater than whatever changes this pandemic has caused. Advice number 2, your choices matter and they have consequences. Most of us, I know, before the quarantine complained about not having enough time. I remember those days when we'd have a scheduled fog delay, and you would have students that were late every single day to first period. And on that scheduled fog delay, they promised they would be on time, but they were still late. So it wasn't really about time. It was about their choices. And during this pandemic, what have you been doing? Have you been active, or have you been lazy and binge watching? I was listening to a podcast, a sports podcast, and he had a trainer on for the NBA. And I'm a huge fan of the Lakers, so I can't wait till their season gets going again. But he asked him, he says, when do you think the season will get started back up? And the trainer said, what if it started tomorrow? What if we scheduled games and had people come together and we all started playing NBA games tomorrow? He says, within the first minute, it would be apparent as to what each person had done during the quarantine. Had they prepared themselves? Had they stayed in shape? Had they kept shooting? Or had they just sat down and ate and binge watched and been lazy the whole time? Most people think that 1 or 2 big decisions in your life is really what shapes who you are. But in reality, it's the hundreds or thousands of small decisions we make every day that really decide our future. If those small everyday choices aren't helping you to progress to your goals, then you'll never be in a position to take advantage of those big decisions. The small everyday choices prepare us to be ready when those big decisions come along. I'd like to close with a quote from one of my favorite professors. Professor Albus Dumbledore said, "It is not our abilities that show who we truly are, it's our choices." I usually tell the graduating class that I will miss them, and I will miss you as well. But more importantly, I don't think any of us will ever forget the class of 2020. Love you, miss you, and as I say at the end of all my class periods, adios, muchachos.